Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Attack on Productions. Fluff here. I'm coming back at you with another deck profile. So real talk for a second. I had been looking for something to do with this particular engine for a while. I've tried like 3 to 4 different leaders. Been working with Jake and Bancroft really heavy on this one. And I was thinking like, God, this engine in particular would be really good with the Brawley Leader. Then like 2 days later, no joke, like 2 days later, it tops. Got like a top 8 somewhere. And I was like, holy crap, it does work. Unfortunately, I hadn't had a chance to fully stretch out the deck, kind of put my own spin on it. So this is kind of a representation of the deck that topped, though it's got my own personal flair, my own personal spin on it. So hopefully you guys like it. Leave us a like, leave us a comment, make sure to hit that subscribe button thing. As always, enjoy having you guys here. Let's get right into it. So starting out, we've got the Brawley Leader. So on the front side, the Brawley Leader is going to let us dig for a 1-drop freezes army. If you remember this leader like ruled a format where it was just like really good, kind of right in that like between set 6, set 7 space. When you're at 4 or less life, you can draw 1 card and then restand 1 of your energy. You get to flip over to the back. On the back side, you do have the permanent. You can only control 2 battle cards. And when this card attacks Sparking 7, you draw until you have 7 cards in your hand. And then activate main, you can KO 1 of your cards to KO 1 of your battle cards. It's kind of like a give and trade. But we do want to KO stuff. So let's talk first real quick about the Freezes army cards that we're going to go get. The first choice, I do play 1 of the Brawley Unrealized Ambition. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I promise like we're not playing the Brawley chain. So we're only playing 1 of these. And it's basically just to take advantage of the grab a card effect here. So what we would do is if we're playing against something that wants to slow roll us, we could play the Brawley, take 2 life, and help self-awaken ourselves if our opponent is trying to slow roll us by any chance. So we could do that and then just combo it off so we don't have to take the other 2. Additionally, we do play 2 of the Dodoria, the Cold-Blooded. These are if like we draw a Brawley, don't need to awaken super fast or our opponent's being a little aggressive. We could grab a Dodoria and hold it for an opportunity where we need to take care of an opponent's unison or something like that. So again, these are just like the on attack, take 1 life double striker. So those are our 3 Freezes army cards. We don't really care about that first effect. It's just a bonus for us. The thing that we care about is the draw to 6 and the KO 1 of our cards to KO 1 of the opponent's cards. So as you can tell by the title up front, I am playing the Hirudegarn chain. So we're starting out with 2 sealed music box. These are pay 1, play. When you play this card, you get to add a Hirudegarn, Tapion, or Minosha, or a unison with specified cost of 1 from the top 7 cards of our deck. Then for 1 green energy, we get to place this card in the drop area and then choose 1 Minosha or Tapion with an energy cost of 3 or less in hand and play it. So it's a really cheap, easy way to play out the Minosha or a Tapion. But we're only playing 1 type of Tapion, and we don't really want to play him off this. We want to play him off of his own effect. But the card that we do want to play off of that is 3 of the Minosha cards. So these are truly the beginning of our chain outside of sealed music box. So basically when you KO Minosha, you get to either draw a card or you get to play in a Hirudegarn with an energy cost of 3 from your deck or hand. It's pretty good. So usually we'll get Minosha, we'll swing at him. So if he's removed by skill or KO'd, he gets that effect. So we'll swing, pop him, and then he will go and grab the 3-drop Hirudegarn. The 3-drop Hirudegarn, a lot like the Minosha, if KO'd or removed by skill, gets to search out a Hirudegarn with an energy cost of 4 from deck or hand and play it. Or if you don't play a card, you get to choose 1 card. Your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and discards it. So a way of kind of just chipping down at the opponent's hand. More often than not, we're going to use that first effect. So that, but then the 4-drop is exactly the same as the others, except he's got, if your opponent combos, you get to place 1 card from your hand in the drop area to kill the combo, which is extremely nice. And then also his limitation is you have to be at 3 or more energy to activate this effect. So do be careful with that. Don't activate this. Don't like spam your Hirudegarns on turn 2 and then die on this effect. But he has the same thing. You either get to play a Hirudegarn of 6 or your opponent discards 1 card if KO'd or removed by skill. Then we jump into the Hirudegarn 6. This is a 25,000 crit. When he is removed by KO, by skill or KO'd, you get to search your deck or from your hand, play a Hirudegarn with an energy cost of 9, or your opponent chooses 2 cards. Sorry, you choose 2 cards in your opponent's hand and discard them. He alternatively has a way to KO himself, where activate battle, you can KO this to choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards and KO them. So if they're trying to go wide or apply some kind of pressure on you, you can use this to KO 2 battle cards. So we do play 4 of those because they are great ways to go. And then we're looking at the 9-drops. I run 3 of the 9-drop, which is unique blocker. So do keep that in mind. He does have Revive blue-green, so if he's ever KO'd on the field, you can activate this, discard a blue and a green or a blue-green. He gets to play right back. Additionally, if he's in the drop area, you can pay 1 green to select a Hirudegarn with a cost of 4, 7, or 6, blue 6 or 7, 4, 6, or 7. Jesus, that was a mouthful for some reason. KO that card, then play this. So a really good play is to, while you have a 4-drop on the field with 3 energy, and a 9-drop in the drop area, you can KO the 4 on the field to play this from the drop area. Then the 4-drop will grab the 6 and play the 6 out. So you end up with a 9 and a 6 on field. Just be careful. Your 9-drop will not get to... If you lose the 6, you won't get to pull out another 9 because they do have unique. And then also keep in mind, every time they activate blocker, your opponent has to discard 1 from their hand. So the whole idea with this engine is to slowly whittle away at your opponent's hand, waste their resources through combo killers, while rebuilding your hand back up to 6 every turn. So we don't mind having to discard a card to get the Hirudegarn's effect off. So that ends the entirety of the Hirudegarn chain. It's more than half the deck, or just at half the deck, I think. And the rest of the deck is kind of consumed with things that you just have to have quality of life deal. We do run 3 of the Hoi. These, when played, draw 1 card, but then when you combo with this card, you choose 1 green Hirudegarn or 1 Minosha, KO it, and then this card, when you do that, this card gets 5,000 combo power. So it's very similar to the Galea Mite that the Brawley engine used that had a 10k combo for free during your turn, but this just requires that you KO a Minosha or a Hirudegarn. So 3 of those. Then we play 4 of the Tapion Fate of a Hero. First off, these guys are blue-green, so they're perfect revival targets. But they also have an effect. They're a blocker, but you can pay a blue or a green energy to choose one of the following effects. You get to either draw 1 card, place this card in the drop area, and then play this card from the drop area at the end of the turn. Or you can set up and play 1 sealed music box from your deck. So turn 1, he's a great turn 1 play because he'll just let you search your deck after searching your deck for Brawley for the sealed music box if you didn't open one up. If you did open a sealed music box, you could choose to go on ahead and set up the sealed music box, or you could get your Brawley chain going, whatever you wanted to do. Or you, and then in later turns, if you don't want to save this for revive, you can pay 1 if you have a spot for an extra card on the field for another blocker or something. You could pay the 1, draw 1, and play a blocker at the end of the turn that you can block and then use Leader's skill to KO with next turn if you need to. So 4 of those. Then we do run 2 Ribrianne Punishing Passion. I kind of want to make room for 3 in this. I actually thought about running this at a 51 card count just to run an additional Ribrianne, because late turns, like turns 3 and 4, you oftentimes find that you don't have anything to do with your energy. So besides saving them for negates or something like that. So having Ribriannes and the free energy to just rip cards out of your opponent's hand to further that resource expenditure would be really good. So I am thinking about running this at a 3 of, but right now I've got it at a 2 of. Then we do run 3 of the Frieza Charismatic Villains. We already KO a lot in this deck, particularly with our Leader effect and the Hirudegarn's effect. And we don't really have anything to do with the Frieza. Plus, our field gets kind of is limited to just the 2 cards. So these freezes may not always be live in our hand, especially if we have like a Tapion and a Hirudegarn on field. So these basically are just going to get played and then immediately comboed off. So that's best case scenario for these guys in this deck. Then kind of my own personal spice in the deck is the Sun Gohan Hidden Mite. This guy's really interesting. It's a deflect unique double strike. And then when your life is at 3 or less, you reduce the cost of this card in your hand by 3. So it becomes a 2-drop that's a 25,000 double strike that gets to KO a card on the field or remove a marker from a unison when played. So these are great ways to clear out the game if you need to do that. Or they're just easy charge targets, but if you're kind of running dry on Hirudegarns, you need a good way to seal the deal on the game. This is a great way to do it for only 2 energy. Though this could alternatively be like a Fu or a Man on a Mission, something like that. Then we do run 4 Android 18 super combos. We don't care about draws as much in this deck because everything pretty much tutors itself out of the deck, and the leader gets to redraw to 6 every turn once your drop area is secured and built up where it needs to be. So just these to rip cards out of your opponent's hand. Again, more of that resource denial to keep them low on resources. Last battle card we play is the Brawley Secret Rare. This will play off the 9-drop Hirudegarn. So you block with it, play this, your opponent dumps their hand, and then you have a dual attack, double strike, 20,000. What else can I say? It's good. This card is expensive because it's devastating. This card hits the field, and it's really good. Just make sure that if you do this, you aren't putting yourself in a situation where you can't defend yourself. So best to, like, you know, after a Dormant Potential or something, put your opponent in a spot where they're not going to be able to defend. Then for the unisons, we do run 4 of the Hirudegarn. These are mainly just because they synergize. So on the permanent, they are, well, permanent, if it has 3 or less, it can't attack. But then auto, it has the combo killer effect for the simple cost of discarding a card, which is more resource denial on your opponent. But then for -2, or +2, activate main, discard a card. +1, choose one of your hero or phantom demon cards and KO them. So this is another great way to cycle through your Hirudegarn line, is using these. Having these on board makes sure Freeze is live. And it also has the last 4 cards in our deck live, which is 4 Dormant Potentials. Seems like a lot, but Dormant Potentials are pretty much how we're going to survive in tandem with Blocker. These really shore up against Aboonies. They just clean up Aboonie tokens like no other. So that by my count is 51, though you can pretty much take it to the bank, or that by my count is 50, but take it to the bank that I'm going to play this at 51 by taking Ribrianne to 3. Just to have that extra little bit to do with energy and also additional. You could also run Celzar's Destroying Kamehameha. I believe the guy that topped with it was playing 2 Celzar's Destroying Kamehameha. Because again, you don't do a lot with your energy in later turns. It's not like you're paying 5 energy to play 1 battle card usually. Like if your opponent deals with one of the Hirudegarn pieces, you're replacing it. And if you're doing that enough that you're running out of stuff to do, you've either already won by that point, applied enough pressure, or you're going to lose the game anyway. So use your energy while you can to deny the resources. It doesn't matter how many resources you waste in hand because you draw back up to 6 every turn. So you can combo kill as often as you like. You can negate as often as you like. You can combo. Just don't be reckless. And you also have a really good game against dealing with the field. So as long as it's not a barrier-heavy field, you can just deal with it. But anyway, guys, that is the Brawley Hirudegarn deck by Fluf. I hope you give this deck a shot. I'm either playing that or Topo Lock this weekend. I haven't figured it out. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to like that video. Hit that subscribe thing. And if there's anything that you want to see us do, let us know. As always, read your cards, know your plays. Fluf out.